Hello. Welcome to the episode. Today, we are doing our first video interview for this podcast, and we are trying out a new system. And so we are hoping that everything goes perfectly smoothly. And if not, oh well, that's life. So today on public speaking tips and tales, we are focusing on the tales today. So Kiralei, I always want to say live for some reason. Kiralei Celestino, that is such a beautiful name, by the way, is a is a fun speaker. I've been friends with her for a while. We're in a mastermind together, and she has some fun stories to tell us of things that have happened to her from the stage. Because I think one of the things about being a speaker, like when you're not one yet and you want to be one, the fear of the weird things that might happen to you on stage can kind of keep you from doing it. And believe me, I've had the worst things happen from stage, which was good because I got over it. Now I'm not scared of anything. So that's why I want to have some public speaking tales for this podcast. And so Kiralei is going to share us some stories today. Will you first tell us about yourself? Introduce yourself to us first.
Oh, sure. So Kiralei Celestino, and I appreciate that you want to say Kiralei.
Kiralei.
I've heard all of them from Kiralei to Curly, which sounds like a student,
Curly.
to Kiralei.
Oh my
And so
gosh.
I don't mind. Everyone has an accent, and it works out for
Awesome.
me. I'm born and raised in Hawaii,
Nice.
which I used to call Hawaii. And people wouldn't understand me, so I understand dialects happen.
Yes.
And I needed to learn to speak proper English because for 2 weeks people kept saying pardon me, and I thought, oh, they cannot understand me. So I endeavored to speak English properly, and now I stick out. But
Oh,
I'm in
that's
Hawaii.
funny.
I feel like
I love the
um
phrase dialects happen.
Yes, it is. And it doesn't matter where in the US you go, dialects happen.
No?
So I have been teaching people for years in one capacity or another. My personal motto is to teach people, to teach people, to teach people. But in the workplace, and one of my stories, in the workplace, I use that to lead from the middle for much of my career until I actually had supervisory or training or managerial roles. So I use this capacity in various manners, but for today, we'll keep the stories to the stage.
Awesome. Okay, so tell me, do you have what kind of story? Funny, embarrassing, shocking,
They
inspirational?
so I mean, when you said shocking, like something came to mind, but I'm not prepared to tell that story.
Not today.
But a funny story, and I can tell two from this particular stage. It was Wolf Creek Foundation's Music in the Mountains at the time it was Wolf Mountain, but they've returned to the name Nordic Valley. So I believe these are still happening. But this would have been the inaugural year of having this event. I believe it was it was the second year. So I was the MC for a year and a half. And in the second year, I got to introduce the Utah Symphony. Was it the first year? Okay. When you do an event and they have the same people there, you start to forget where the
Yeah,
stories came from. But the
right.
crowds range from 400 to 1,200.
Whoa.
And this was a rather large event. So my role was to make sure everyone was comfortable. So larger crowds just need to make sure everyone is comfortable.
Yeah.
Practice my introduction of the conductor of the Utah Symphony, and I flipped a sentence. Instead of saying, "And today we have the Utah Symphony, but you already knew that, or you wouldn't be here." Instead of that, I said, and this is burned into my memory. I said, "And today we have the Utah Symphony. And if you didn't know that, I don't know why you're here." and I heard like a low chuckle from the entire symphony behind me, all of the musicians. And I was like mortified inside because you just want to, that is not what I intended to say. And I said it in such a like hesitant, like insulty kind of voice. Like, I don't know why you're here. And I was
Oh
like
no.
trying to make the words make sense. So I'm mortified. The conductor comes over. I'm sure everything is fine, but I'm just like, I screwed up. How do you show up in front of people after something like that when you've been doing the fun introductions all season long? You're welcoming people, you're
Oh
keeping
my
the crowds
God.
happy, and then you're in front of a very serious crowd. And it's a tone shift and I did it wrong. And so you want to beat yourself up,
Sure.
or you so what I just added that to my long list of see all the ways you failed, now you have to overcome it, which we do for a time until we learn how to address that. But yeah, that's what I did at the time.
That is hilarious.
Have you had a moment like that, Kelly?
Oh, you know what? It wasn't even that long ago, just a few months ago. I was just helping MC at an event. Like I was not the MC, but they were both busy. The people running it were both busy and were like, could somebody else introduce the next person or so? I don't remember how it ended up, but I ended up being the MC since I'm a speaker. So there were two people I was supposed to introduce, but not at the same time. I was going to bring up one, she was going to talk, and then I was going to bring up the next one and she was going to talk. Somehow I got them flipped. So just like you, I had a flip moment. So instead of introducing speaker number one, I was introducing speaker number two. And I could see her in the back of the room going, no,
Oh
no,
no.
no, because she wasn't even mic'd up or anything. She wasn't ready. It was hilarious. Like just the look on her face was so funny. And then the guy that I was helping MC, he's like, introduce the other one. And I was like, oh crap. So I had this, I was already like 3 minutes into this introduction. So I said, well, oops, I am introducing the wrong speaker. So let's back up, take all that back, and instead let me introduce to you. And then I told the stuff of the new speaker. And then I was like, you too could be a public speaker. Oh my gosh, it was so funny and hilarious. But it but I didn't get upset or weird or embarrassed on stage. I just made a joke of it. So
Hmm.
the tension all went away when everybody laughed when I acknowledged what a
Right.
stupid thing I had just done and scared that poor speaker to death that she was going to have to come up and speak before she was ready. But just laughing, it just let it out. It was okay. We all survived.
Yes. And that's the point. And what do you think the audience thought about that?
I think they thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't think they were like, oh, she's terrible.
And I that's the little small little mini point, a little pointlet I was trying to make is
Pointless.
that, yeah, the way that we feel is likely not the exact same way the audience feels if you
Yeah.
need to feel a little better. But we care. You know how when you're an MC, like you speak a little bit and then there's a long period of time where there's background music setting
Mhm.
up and then you speak again. So you're holding a mic, you're walking around, you're talking with people. So I don't know why. Uh I'm laughing because I'm still mortified. So I'm talking with these people and I'm telling them a story about my childhood, not arsonist. It's more pyro because, I don't want to damage with fire. I just want to play with it. So I'm a child. It happens. I'm a child. I'm probably fourth grade or younger in my room playing with
Yeah.
matches. So I tear up little pieces of paper, I light a match, and I light the piece of paper and I watch it burn because I'm fascinated. Because fire is weird. And I
Yes.
just get more and more brave. So I light bigger and bigger pieces of paper on fire. Oh no, it wasn't matches, it was a lighter. And then I just finally did a whole strip of paper and I light it on fire and it lights really quickly and it catches the bed on fire really quickly. So I'm like, so I run out of the room. Luckily, it's adjacent to the kitchen. I run into the kitchen. I get the biggest cup that I can find and I turn on the water full blast and it fills really fast and I turn it off and the water bubbles that come up when you're filling a water glass really fast subside and I have a little bit of water. And I was like, I don't have time. So I run back into the other room. The side of the bed is on fire. And I go like this.
With one little
And
cup.
God, yes, God put out that fire.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Thank you, God.
yes. And so I'm like, and I turn around and walk right into my mom.
Oh gosh.
And so I say, oh, and because I have an empty cup, and she's like smelling, do you smell fire? And I was like, maybe the neighbors are barbecuing. And I walk around her.
Oh my gosh.
Go into the kitchen to put away the cup. My dad gets home later and he's like, do you smell fire? And my mom immediately uses my words. Kiralei said, maybe the neighbors are barbecuing, but he sniffs it out. And I guess, beds have something that might smolder for a time. So I get in trouble. But I learned something very important about fire and space required.
Oh my God.
So I remind you that I'm telling this story
Yes.
to someone I'm speaking with. My mic is on in my back pocket. It's on, but it's in my back pocket. And people are laughing at just the right moments. And I was like, that's really weird. It seems like they can hear our conversation. And so I give the punchline and I say, and that's why, I give, someone walks down and says, your mic's on. And I was like, oh, great. I'm trying to have this persona of a very responsible person. And here I am talking about playing with fire and children are listening. What a great example. Are you okay?
That is mortifying. So was there music playing? Was the symphony playing while you were talking?
No, it was downtime. There was no band playing at all. It was not the same event, thank God.
Wow. Okay, that actually is very lucky. Good job.
Very lucky.
Oh my God.
Dear. I didn't even intend to tell you that one. That's just kind of.
Oh, I love it. That's so good. I've heard people forget to turn their mics off when they go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
If you're wearing a cheek mic, you forget to push that little slidey button on the pack. Mm-hmm. You go to the bathroom. Everybody hears you.
But speakers are not alone in that, because I think many in the business world would say that since we've gone to having, Bluetooth headsets,
yes,
that has been the occasional occurrence. Or
I have gone to the bathroom on the phone. I'm not going to lie.
Oh,
I put it on mute.
Yeah.
Except if I'm talking. Because sometimes you can't hold it.
Yes. Yeah, this is a long meeting. And
right.
Ready for one. So those are stories about how to move on after, you've done something in front of a fairly large crowd.
How to survive embarrassment.
Right. So now take this into the workplace, because these are skills that are not only for, speakers, presenters of technical information.
Oh yeah.
So that's my, late 20s story. Mm-hmm. So in my 30s, I'm working for the government, for the US Air Force. And my trainer in a particular organization, I was new, someone was training me, decides to go on vacation. And he's got apparently an annual meeting in front of what we call a working group. And the working group, it's a users summit. So trying to decide how much I can say or not say. So I work for the F-16. No. So I worked for the F-16, and my trainer was in charge of a particular piece, and he was just needing to give an update to the users of the platform. Um, he told me, "Hey, I'm going to be on vacation. Will you do this briefing for me?" I'm a team player. Sure, boss. Give it to me. So the slides are already built. Yes, they are. You just need to present it. I just need to present it. Yes. How many people are going to be there? 300. No problem. I've mortified myself in front of 12,000 or 1,200. So I can do this. And so I study the slides. I know how to present. These are the kinds of things we do on a regular basis. It's just that this is in person with more people. No problem. Done it before. And I will have support there. Okay, great. So I get into the room. Okay, 300 people. I expected guys at the working level, but there are also leaders there, generals, from other countries. I I didn't expect it, but I was like, you know what, I've done this, all I need to do is present the information, it'll be cool. So it gets to be my time to present. I walk to the front. I produce the information and I say, "Are there any questions?" Which I maybe should not have given the opening for questions because it is not my product. I don't have the answers to questions. So someone in the front, lots of shiny things on their uniform, and they ask me a question. I don't know the answer, but I know that when I don't know the answer, I say, "Can I get back to you on that?" And so I ask, "May I ask who you're with?" And he says, "I will not disclose that information." what do you what do you do with that? So I'm like stuck in front of, because it's so different. I came in here saying, "I just need to present this information. My trainer said it'd be no big deal. I will have support." And so like now I'm trying to answer a question. I don't see where my support is. And someone very shiny is asking for information. I feel like I'm early in my career with the government. Like I want to make a good impression.
Right.
And I will not disclose that information. I was not prepared for something like this.
Oh my gosh. How do you respond to that?
I went, and because of the stuttery and,
Yeah.
because you present, I need help. Then some voice from beyond, an engineer of some sort, helped to answer the question. I could not hear it. I could not hear what he was saying. I don't know if the person was satisfied, but
Wow.
so my advice, things come up short notice and you think you can do something, be prepared for anything, because your past success does not guarantee your future success. It's no big deal. Give it a shot, but yeah, just the bravado alone is not going to get you everywhere. It may get you somewhere,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's just my advice to you is preparation is not to be, what is the elegant word for ignored? Yeah. Heed every
Downplay.
warning. Be very, very prepared
Yes,
because it's worth it. It's worth it to be prepared.
it is.
Um,
Oh my gosh.
is
Those are
that fun?
hilarious. I'm glad you survived all those.
Thank you. Yeah,
And you're still speaking. It did
I
not
am.
keep you from coming back to the stage.
No. And when you love something, when
Yeah.
every hurdle can come in front of you, and even if it slows you down, even if it really makes you question, it comes back at you when it is the thing that you must do.
Yes.
I must teach, like it is the only
Yep.
thing I want to do.
It nags and nags
Teach,
until you give
speak. Yeah.
in.
Is that your experience as well?
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Did you try running away from it?
Yes, I have.
Did you did you feel like you were dying in every part of you?
Yes, pretty much. I
I
felt
swear my
like,
body started to shut down.
yes, I was, yeah, Jonah and the whale. I was like, nope, don't want to do it. It's crazy. Who am I to do this? I can't be a speaker. I don't have any training. I don't have any experience. Well, then I got training and then I got experience. But man, still, sometimes it's just easier to not show up, right? So on the days where we feel like it's easier to not show up, we listen to the nagging voice that says, well, you really need to show up. You've got an impact to make. You've got people's lives to change. You need to get out there and show up. So we do it because we're speakers. We're life changers, right?
Yeah.
Changing lives from the stage. That is our calling. Even if the stage is a training class and you're at the front, that is still a stage. Facebook is a stage. You know, people, they don't realize everything's a stage. You're always making an impact if you show up. It can be on Instagram, it can be on Facebook, it could be a podcast. It doesn't have to always be on an actual stage.
Right?
Right?
Oh, I love all the words coming out of your mouth. Right?
You're
it's
so
perfect.
Cute.
It's perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, this was awesome. Thanks for being my first video guest on my new podcast. Yay. On my old podcast, it was the Queen of Manifesting, and I only had maybe 5 video guests the entire time. I did 108 episodes on, you know, how to manifest everything. It's called the Queen of Manifesting. So if somebody had manifested something really amazing, I would have them on as a guest to talk on video. But I didn't do it very often, so I'm excited. You're my first video guest on my new podcast. Yay!
Well, may there be many more.
Yes, absolutely. So, since all these people have now met you and think you're amazing, how can they find you or reach you, or any links you want to give them? I'll put them in the show notes for you.
Perfect, because my name is weird, and until people really know me, they can't. I just say Kiralei, you know, just look me up on socials, you'll find me, and they're like, how do you spell that?
Right.
So check out the show notes, because it's Kiralei 808 is typically how you can find me on social media. And Kiralei.xyz is how you can meet me at my website.
Fun.
And I just need to, if you don't mind, if I just kind of explain what I do just briefly.
Yes, please do.
With my background working for the government in logistics and program management, I have a very organized mind. I'm excellent with complex details and sifting out the right path to doing something differently, either more efficiently or more cleanly. So if you're navigating change, that's what I love to do. However, the more I looked at what I loved to do with businesses, people are at the heart of what I love to do, whether it's training teams or helping people who have a message they want to put out into the world, get rid of their anchors so they're not speed training anymore, dragging weights, and just flying and doing what they are impassioned to do. This happens in your teams, but sometimes when you're miscommunicating with someone else, it's not because of that interaction. It's because you stole something when you were in 4th grade and it's just been haunting you and something reminded you, and so you reacted a certain way. So I love working with individuals who are trying to let go of something so they can interact with people in a more now perspective. So yeah, please look for me. Actually, in the show notes, I will give Kelly a link so that you can download a pamphlet that I share with people to address their mental blocks, limiting beliefs, or distractions. It's a very simple process that I expect to teach for a very long time because humans are able to move on. We just haven't taught each other that, and we've somehow become addicted to carrying around the past like it holds us back, and it doesn't. So you're going to be great. Let's go.
Nice. That's such a good way to put it. Addicted to carrying around the past. Blah. Let's stop that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was awesome. Thanks for being on. We'll get all that in the show notes. And any last words before we go? No pressure.
No, be your best selves, guys. We need you out there. We need you following your passions. That is my last word.
Love it. All right. Well, this is it for this episode of Public Speaking Tips and Tales. Focus on the tales today with Speaking Coach Kelly. We will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.